Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly revisit Echo. This is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for about 30 bucks or so. When I stress Early Access, that means everything that you're about to see here is most definitely subject to change. So this is one of those work together to save the planet kind of thing. By default, the planet will be struck by a meteor in 30 days, although several day and night cycles can go by in this game and it still be a day, if that makes any sense. It's weird. So anyway, whenever you create a game, you'll be able to customize your avatar, and I love this part of it. It actually uses your camera, which is kind of cool and kind of creepy all at the same time, but if you have it enabled, it'll actually pick up your facial expressions, and that will translate to other people as you're playing. So, as you're walking by the world and someone else is walking by, you could actually wave your hand in front of your camera and your avatar will somewhat do the same thing. Although, idly has reported my character doing some very creepy things, not because I did them, but just because the camera sort of gets confused and doesn't know how to read my face, so my eyes are twitching all over the place, and I've got this creepy smile. Use at your own risk, but you can create this avatar, portrait, whatever, and again, you can enable the camera if you really want to. That's a step up from the eco that I remember playing about a year or two ago. So when you create a new game, you have the ability to start your own server. I don't know if there's like a separate eco server thing. There is an eco server like option on my Steam library, but I don't know how to get it to work. To be honest with you, I'm in no hurry to figure that out, only because 95% of games I play have some kind of built-in in-game thing. So to spend my time trying to figure out the little idiosyncrasies of getting your own server set up, I shouldn't have to do that, especially if I'm paying 30 bucks. So yeah, this game isn't perfect. As you just saw, there was a rabbit floating in the air. You'll find animals roaming the environment. So you're going to be trying to build up your civilization enough to where you get enough technology to, I guess, shoot the comet out of the sky before it hits the planet. That's the main drive of the game, but you can turn that off. There are limited customization options. What I don't like is that in order to adjust your server settings in-game or mid-game, you have to go to the INI file and change the settings there. There's no way in-game to change the settings, and I think that's a big failing. Again, I should not have to resort to, all right, where's my eco folder in my Steam apps? I shouldn't have to do that. I mean, other games, 7 Days, Valheim, you can adjust your server settings typically on the fly, so I would love the option to do that in-game without having to do that, in some kind of file. Sometimes the game doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'll find sharks. I'll catch tuna and sharks in the stream, which is really weird. Luckily, there is a really cool in-game map, and it keeps track of all the different animal and plant populations in the environment, and it tells you where they are. And yes, you can actually cause things to go extinct in this game if you're not careful. Now, what I think the game needs is a separate list of all the the total population of everything in the world at that point in time. I haven't found it, but I wish it said deer. There are 602 deer right now. I want to see real-time numbers is what I'm saying, and I couldn't find that anywhere, which is a shame. All I could see was their population map, and I can see where they tend to congregate, that kind of thing. But I really would have liked some numbers to go along with that. I think that was a missed opportunity. So in order to level up in this game, you get passive XP just over time. That's it. Just over time, you're going to get this XP, and you can adjust how much XP you get in those customizable settings. But you're going to get professions. There are ones that you start off with, like survival and hunting, and then you will be able to specialize from logging, then carpentry, and then composites and paper milling, shipwright, there's a variety of different things. There's at least 6 different skills related to cooking, and again, typically one leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. So you're going to be earning a skill point with every level up. And again, you earn that XP over time. It's not just by chopping down trees in the environment. No, you just earn that XP over time in order to get more stars. And you assign those stars to picking a profession and putting a point into that. Now, your profession XP is different. Each profession can be leveled up by doing things. So by chopping down trees, you level up your logging. By crafting a certain thing, you level up this profession. So like your overall XP is earned over time, but your profession XP is earned by doing the things related to that profession. That's interesting. I like that as well. There is an experimental toggle that I recommend that you don't enable that allows you to get general XP as well by doing things, but trying to mess with the numbers behind that is ridiculous. So keep that off, I think. And if you're really hurting, if you're playing solo or 2 players, for example, like we are, then up the XP gain by like, I don't know, 500 or 50. I don't know what I have it set to. Just like multiply it by 5 or 10 so that you get XP a lot faster passively. Otherwise, you're in for a crazy grind. Let me tell you, this game is super grindy. And the reason for that is there's so many professions and so many recipes and so many things to do. In fact, like, it's so overwhelming that all I wanted to do was smelt ore into a bar. Typically, you would just find some kind of smelter building and throw it in there, and out pops out the bar. Nope, not in this game. First, you have to, like, there's something called an arastra that sort of crushes it. It crushes the rock, the ore. And then you've got a rocker box, which I guess does something to it, and then you have a bloomery building, which turns it into bars. So it's like a 3 or 4 step process, and you're queuing up all these jobs, and you have to actually submit labor in addition to the materials to complete these jobs, and that's where your food comes into play. As you do labor to complete, like to queue up these recipes, you're on the bottom left is like a pie chart. There's carbohydrates, there's fat, protein, that kind of thing. And you're trying to keep a balanced diet. Why are you trying to keep a balanced diet? Because that affects your XP gain. If you have a balanced diet and your person is relatively happy with what they're eating, yes, certain foods they hate, all of that is calculated, and that will determine how much XP you gain, general XP that you gain over time. So keeping that pie chart balanced and eating foods that you like have an effect on all of that. There's a lot of, I'm just saying it's very overwhelming, this game. It really is. Some things that could be improved. The building in this game can be a little finicky. Trying to put a roof on, for example, if you have to get the exact spot, the exact spot. Otherwise, it'll sort of flicker between 2 spots, and sometimes you'll put it in the wrong place. Then you have to, replace it, that kind of thing. It's just annoying. The building is not as snap airtight as I would like it to be. It's a bit sensitive. So yeah, building is a bit of a problem. As you saw earlier, the animals were kind of floating, and I ran into some issues where I cut down a tree and couldn't cut it any further. Once I reloaded the game, that seemed to fix the problem. I also had issues with items disappearing from storage, which was weird. What's cool is that you can set storage to input and output. So every building, every crafting station has individual input output buttons that you can assign to your different storages. So you can say, I want to draw materials from this storage, and then I want it to output over here into this storage, or all of it. It's really, like I said, very overwhelming. But I've had issues where like items disappear, and then when I craft that item once, then that one thing I crafted gets the other stack miraculously appears where it was supposed to be, in addition to the one I just crafted. This led to like production of certain things that we really didn't need, but like I'm just saying, like I had materials just disappear on me, which was kind of weird. There's also no search feature for recipes and items. I've had to wiki on a regular basis or Google on a regular basis. How do I make this? And I have to make, like, there's no easy way to figure out how I need to make a bar. I spent like a half an hour trying to figure out, oh, I need an Arastra. There was that one building I was missing. I needed that Arastra to actually to crush the rock first. I didn't know that. Like the game didn't really tell me the progression there. So like trying to learn this is extremely frustrating. What's cool is that over time, you go from like this really basic settlement to this really advanced like civilization, roads, vehicles, like all of that is really cool. And yeah, there's bugs. It's still buggy. But I overall I love the game. If you can stand the jankiness of it at times, and if you don't mind a learning curve, like there is a bit of a learning curve with this game. So it's really better with multiple people. It's really designed for one person being in this profession. But if you're going to play this solo or two players, up the XP gain so that you can grab more things. Just be warned that you're going to be handling so many professions, and it's overwhelming. It really is. I have to warn you, this is not a game that you can just go into solo and be like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. No, you're going to be running around like a chicken with its head cut off just because there's so much to do. But other than that, like I really look forward to seeing what else the game has in store. Like you can create governments, there's housing claims, you can claim land and different things like that. It's really in depth, but it's satisfying when you finally get things done. So Eco, it's definitely had some improvements, but it's still pretty janky. So if you're not sure, maybe wait a little bit until the game has been produced a bit more and developed a bit more. But we're having fun revisiting this game. Well, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all next time. Take care.